Hey guys, Max and I are back. He's got his sand bucket again. I think it might have something to do with what we're reading today. Okay? So let's find out why he has his sand bucket, okay? I think we're reading more about the Flores family, and it has something to do with sand. So let's see. Many people like to find pretty shells when they go to the beach. Have you guys ever looked for shells at the beach? Seashells were once the houses that protected live sea creatures. And I have a few here. They're real pretty ones. See that? Isn't that pretty? Here's another one. That's a real pretty one too, isn't it? And that hole right there is where the sea creatures used to live. They don't live there anymore. So they can say that they moved out of the house. All right, so let's listen to find out what Marcus and Lucas do after their bike ride. Boys, do you remember what else we were going to do today? Mom asked after they had returned the bikes to the rental hut. I do, said Lucas. We're going to build a sandcastle. That's what the bucket was for. Okay, Max. So, hooray, shouted Marcus. I'll get the blue beach bag. What do you think is in the blue beach bag? It's probably stuff like the bucket, right, Max? Yeah. Marcus picked up the bag. It was full of different kinds of buckets, shovels, and small rakes. Marcus turned the bag upside down and dumped them out. Remember, first you need to pack the buckets with moist sand, not too wet and not too dry. Watch. Mom began to fill a bucket with moist sand. When it was full, she patted it flat across the top. Then you flip your bucket over onto the dry sand. That's the tricky part, Mom said. She turned the bucket upside down and tapped the bottom 2 or 3 times. Then she pulled the bucket upward very carefully. There on the dry sand was a mound of moist sand in the shape of a bucket. Wow, that's neat, exclaimed Marcus. May I try? Soon Marcus and Lucas had a good start on the sandcastle. So, what does Mom show the boys? That can be one of the answers that you guys send back to me, okay? After a lot of digging, dumping, and patting, the boys were pleased with the castle. Marcus picked up a seagull feather he'd found in the sand and stuck it in the top of the castle. We'll pretend the feather is a flag, he said. Dad helped the boys finish up by digging a moat around the sandcastle and filling it with water. Every castle needs a good moat filled with water to keep out the enemies, he said. Marcus and Lucas went to look for the seashells to decorate their castle. As Marcus leaned down to pick up a pretty shell, it moved away from his hand. Look, Lucas, the shell is moving, exclaimed Marcus. Mom and Dad went over to look, and they began laughing. You just tried to pick up a hermit crab, said Dad. Most shells we find on the beach have been a house for some type of sea creature. Hermit crabs find empty shells that sea animals no longer need and live in them for a while. When the hermit crab grows bigger, it finds a bigger shell to live in. Better leave that one alone. It's not done with its shell yet. So what made the shell move when Marcus tried to pick it up? You can answer that in your return video too. The boys took their shells back to the sandcastle and carefully arranged them on their castle walls. Soon the sandcastle was finished. The boys were very pleased with their handiwork. Mom reached for the camera. Marcus, why don't you and Lucas kneel by the castle? I want to take a picture of you with your sandcastle. Why do you think it is easier to build sandcastles at the beach than it is in a sandbox? Okay, I guess you can return that answer to me also. All right, so thinking about the castle and what they were when they were building it, I have a poem. So what I want you to do is to listen with your listening ears and see if you hear any rhyming words, okay? All right, here goes. We're building a castle out of sand with flags and towers tall. Pat, pat, pat. Build it, build it, build it. We're digging up sand to make a moat all around its wall. Dig, 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 like my shovel. We're lining the castle wall with shells to make it fit for kings. Here's the shells. We're building with feathers, seashells, sand, whatever the ocean brings. Who knows? It might be some wood. It might be some feathers. Who knows what the waves will bring up to the shore, huh? So let's talk about the rhyming words. I heard tall and wall, sand, kings and brings. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Sand. Well, they just said sand twice. So, kings and brings, wall and tall. So those are some of the words that rhyme. Remember, whenever we're rhyming, it's words that sound alike. Okay. So in your return video, you can answer the questions that I asked you. And if you happen to have any seashells at your house, why don't you show me them? Okay? I think that would be really cool. All right. I'll see you later, guys.